Hello everyone, welcome to Pratham Test Prep, and I hope that you guys are doing well. आप सारे अच्छे होंगे. And welcome to another episode of daily newspaper analysis that we do from Monday to Friday. And in this newspaper analysis, we discuss about all the important news from all major newspaper. Majorly, we discuss about the Hindu and Indian Express. And one humble request to everyone: if you are new in this channel, please subscribe the channel as well, and do not forget to press the bell icon so we'll get the notification of all our Pratham Test Prep mentors. Why newspaper is important? Because it gives you an idea like what kind of current affairs we need to focus on, right? एंड करंट अफेयर्स जो है आपका मेजर पोर्शन है आपके क्लाट के एग्जाम में, एलिट के एग्जाम में, यूजी की एंट्रेंस जितने भी होते हैं सबके लिए न्यूज़ पेपर इज एन बेस्ट सोर्स, राइट? बिकॉज वट एवर द करंट अफेयर्स वी आर स्टडिंग इज दे आर टेकन फ्रॉम द दे आर एक्सट्रैक्टेड फ्रॉम द newspaper, right? And in this newspaper analysis we discuss about all the major events, like we can say we discuss about national news, we discuss about international news, we discuss about economy based news, like what is GDP, MNP. But for this we have to good command over the static subjects, which means that in short we can say the subjects which is the basic foundation, which is the nitty gritty of the subject. Like for example, if the anywhere is talking about monetary policy committee of the RBI, but you are not sure about what was the RBI when RBI was established. For example, if there's somewhere in the news कि RBI increased the repo rate, but you are not aware about what exactly is the repo rate. So I request to everyone to make sure like you have to be good command over the static subject. Unless you will not understand the static subject, how it would be possible to command over the dynamic subject, right? So sports based news also we discuss about science and tech, personal news, summits and conference, miscellaneous. And apart from that we discuss about Supreme Court verdict, any amendments, any bill that would be likely to ask in your exam, right? So here we start with the quote of the day: if your voice is high, only a few people will hear. If your thought is high, then many people will listen. And to inculcate this thought process, how you need to do, you have to develop such kind of temperament, which is very very important for your exam perspective. And here's a quote: just one small positive thought in the morning that can change your whole day. And we have taken initiative questions of the day. As we know that whatever the information we have gathered, but until unless we will not solve it, so you cannot find it yourself that how good you are on that particular subject, right? So I request to everyone, like if the any subject is there, like if the anything, like you have studied couple of subjects like history, polity, economy, but make sure that like you have to appear in the test. The test paper gives you the idea like how good you are on the particular subject, and make a diary and write that about the what are the mistake you had done on the particular subject, right? So at the end of the session we'll discuss about 5 questions. They are that 5 questions extracted from the newspaper, like majorly from the Hindu and Indian Express. Here is the very first news is talking about BIMSTEC grouping, and you have to must know about like what is BIMSTEC is and how we can see is, just a second. So what is the main purpose of BIMSTEC? So recently External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, the first thing, what are the important takeaways in your exam, that what we can say is who is our foreign minister, or we can say External Affairs Minister, that is S. Jaishankar. And he was participating in the foreign minister meeting of Bay of Bengal initiative for multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation, which is called BIMSTEC is. So BIMSTEC, which means we can say that, which is Bay of Bengal initiative for multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation. So what was the main purpose of BIMSTEC? So this we can say that is a part of international organization. BIMSTEC basically is a regional organization that was established in the year of 1997. See, wherever the international organization, especially like UN organization, and apart from the UN organization, you have to keep in mind that what are the important takeaways is your exam. No need to read each and every stanza is important for your exam, but you have to think in mind like what kind of question they would be likely to ask. Like when was BIMSTEC established? So BIMSTEC was established in the year of 1997, right? While the signing of Bangkok Declaration. Initially, it was known as BISTEC, which means that Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, Thailand Economic Cooperation. So now the organization is called BIMSTEC and comprises 7 members. So BIMSTEC, as we can see that it comprises 7 members, with Myanmar joining towards the end of 1997 and Bhutan and Nepal in 2004. So the last country that joined BIMSTEC is Bhutan and Nepal in the year of 2004, right? And the cooperation with BIMSTEC initially focused on 6 sectors, like in 1997. First, we can say in trade, second one in technology, third one in energy, and then transport, and then tourism and fisheries. So make sure that the trade, transport, energy, tourism and fisheries and expanded in 2008 to other areas. 2021 में जो इसको reorganize किया गया, that led to each of the member state leading certain sectors. So what is the purpose to join India? So India focuses on security along with counter-terrorism and transnational crimes, disaster management and energy. So इसमें China के क्या role है? So Bay of Bengal is crucial for an increasing assertive China, because in the last newspaper analysis we discussed about the China BRI initiative, Belt and Road Initiative, how he is joining the border areas. So Bay of Bengal is crucial for an increasing assertive China in maintaining the access route of the Indian Ocean. So BIMSTEC is a new battleground in the India-China battle for dominance. So these things you need to keep in mind, right? What was the BIMSTEC is, what is the full form of BIMSTEC, and when it was established, and second thing, like how many country, what were the focuses on India, and the last country joined BIMSTEC. Moving to the next one is a common civil code spelling equality for every Indian. What is this? Basically, in the everyday newspaper filled with the burning issue which is called UCC, which is called Uniform Civil Code is. Many times we have discussed in the newspaper analysis, but just going to recall you what is Uniform Civil Code is. So that was in 22nd, Law Commission has called for the response to a proposal of Uniform Civil Code in India. This has been set of a debate, and Article 44 of the Constitution, which tells about the Uniform Civil Code. Uniform, why it is important? Because as you know that Muslim have a different laws in our country, Hindu have a different law in our country, different caste have a different religion, have a different law. That's why government want, irrespective of any caste, creed and all, we have a one unique law should be implemented. That is why it is called UCC required, which is Uniform Civil Code S. So this has set off a debate which has often been acrimonious, but the debate itself is much needed as Indians have never been consulted on the personal laws they have governed by. And you know what, this law was instituted by the British colonial government by giving a cursory hearing to the clergy and religious scholars in the case of religions without one. And इसके result क्या होते? The result was something we can say religion based of the personal law of Hindus, Muslims and Christians. So we in our country we have different laws. For example, if you're talking about like Muslims have separate laws, Shariat. ये Shariat क्या होता है? Shariat के according, if the any girl age reached at the 16 or puberty, she would be eligible to get married. But in Hindu Marriage Act, it should be the age of 21. So that's why government wants like at the in some caste the age of 16 the marriage is legitimate. In some other caste of 18 or say 16 age, that is illegitimate. That's why government wanted to establish or implement the UCC, which is called Uniform Civil Code. So laws that are boxed, personal laws in India are boxed according to religion or social origin of the citizens. So however we can say that it does not take much to see a fearful symmetry between them. So in short we can say only a man can be a Karta or head of the Hindu undivided family. A divorced Muslim woman is not entitled to a maintenance beyond a certain period. So here talking about alimony. Alimony is something like the both has been isolated, so the husband need to pay the wife after they got divorce, right? So that's why the uniform civil code is for the irrespective of the any caste, it should be implemented, right? So, from the point of view of women's empowerment, India's civil code is uniform already. So, and as for the section of the population that we, today refers to LGBT community, so the British, colonists consider them, and it can be ignored altogether. So, we can say that not only did they not even merit a personal laws, but their action deserved to be a criminalized. So we can now see why we cannot consider ourselves to be a democracy so long as we continue with the current approach to personal laws. So in my opinion it is not because it is the same for the different religious group, but because of their uniformity, patriarchal code denies women equality before we can say the law. And recently, PM Modi widely reported query as to how one country can be run off on two laws misses this. So, does the opposition, when it rushes to defend inaction on these personal laws on the ground of diversity, which they hold as a sacrosanct? Sacrosanct, which means this is something is we can say that nobody can deny, and people are starting like so change नहीं कर सकते, right? So the antiquity of India's customs and the diversity of its people are both brought up to the make a case of tiptoeing around the existing personal law despite their unequal rights for men and women. But is this a valid argument for all? India's caste system is antique, as you know that. Caste and Varna, they are two different things. So alright, but India's lawmakers were wise enough to junk in law very early on the history of independent India. नेक्स्ट कम्स डाइवर्सिटी. अपोनेंट्स जो हैं हमारे रिफॉर्म्स को, वो चाहते कि हमारे जो रिलीजन है उनकी इसमें आस्था एंड ऑल उसको हम चेंज नहीं करना चाहिए. सो नेक्स्ट कम्स डाइवर्सिटी. सो opponents of reform seems to be unaware that they are installing a diversity based on religion. Here it is worth recalling political scientist Pratap Bhanu Mehta reminder that India was not conceived as a federation of religion. Similarly, during the deliberation of Constituent Assembly, B.R. Ambedkar once said to have expressed surprise that religion was being given, we can say, religion was being given much importance when choosing India's political arrangement. These observations have a bearing on what is being debated today. So, whether India के जो civil codes हैं accords with the dictates of all religion is irrelevant. What matters is that it must to be accorded with the democratic principle of liberty, equality and dignity. So these things which is enshrined in our preamble also. So irrespective of any citizens, we require dignity, we require liberty, and it should be equality. So it is entirely possible to draft a civil code that preserve these ideals without any reference to religious practices. This would have a merit of being secular and in keeping with the defining character of India's constitution, right? So these milestone point of understanding of right to religion as being confined to choice of one's faith, not to be extra constitution expression of such as regulations of women's autonomy by men. So this article talks about the why the UCC would be implemented, what are the background of UCC. So these things would be possible to ask in your exam. So that perspective, so develop such kind of understanding, inculcate all these things which has mentioned in the article. Now moving to the next article is talking about bill that fence in the right to information. So the news was the Union Cabinet has approved the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill and will table in the monsoon session of Parliament July 28th August. So July 20th, so this day July 20th is monsoon session will start. Monsoon session, sorry. Monsoon session will start. So how many session in the Parliament? One is budget session. Second one is we can say monsoon session, and then third one is winter session. So there are three sessions in the Parliament: budget, monsoon, and winter. So it is talking about like July 20th of August. It raises certain issues. The proposed Digital Personal Data Protection Bill have two provisions which would greatly weaken the India's citizens' right to information. पहला हमारा क्या है? The Right to Information Act effective since 12th October 2005 से हमारा RTA start हुआ था. That was in the year of 2005 and is one of the best transparency laws in the world, empowering citizens, and it is a practical recognition of their role as the rulers and owners of India. So this is the outcome of people's struggle led by Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan that was fight starting in the rural Rajasthan, which culminated in the drafting of the laws in 2004. And हमारी जो preamble है, its preamble elegantly state that democracy require informed citizens and transparency in the affairs of their government so that they can hold it accountable and curb corruption. And it harmonize the need for an efficient government while preserving the ideals of democracy. So ये जो law है हमारा ये recognize करता है that default mode is that each citizens has a right to access almost all the information with the government. So the So the categories of information have been exempted from disclosure to prevent harm to certain interests and to ensure a smooth working of the government. So the most widely misused exemption is section 88A1, which exempt personal information which is not a part of public activity or which is an invasion of the privacy of the individual. So it has been provision which is acid test to help anyone claiming exemption which is state, provided that the information which cannot be denied to the parliament or state legislature shall not be denied to any person. So जो ये जो law है हमारा ये state करता है like personal information may be exempt if it is not related to a public activity or interest or would cause unwarranted invasion of the privacy of an individual. तो इसका refusal का basis क्या है इस हमारा Digital Personal Data Protection Bill में? This law illegal but has been widely used to cover arbitrary, corrupt or illegal act of government officials. Like मैं आपको example देता हूँ, this Department of Personnel and Training refusing total number of annual performance of appraisal reports of an IAS officers pending presently for over a year, because ये जो आपका Department of Personnel and Training is the solely body which is responsible for the joining for the we can say IAS officers in our country. 2 years, 3 years or 4 years by claiming exemption under section 8.1 request for the details of member of legislative assembly funds being denied saying it was personal information. इट मीन्स कोई भी इंसान इस लॉ में अगर जानना चाहता है कि हमारे एमएलए जो हैं हमारे एरिया के जो एमएलए हैं उनको कितनी फंड मिली थी इस एरिया के डेवलपमेंट के लिए, तो वो इसमें एग्जाम्प्ट किया गया है बिकॉज समहाउ इट इज़ वायलेटेड द समवन प्रिवेसी. So, unfortunately, the proposed data protection bill plans to amend RDI Act Section 8.1 read as exempting information under which relate to the personal information. Like RTI में आपको जो भी information दी हुई थी कि like आर्मी से रिलेटेड कोई भी information अगर आप नहीं दे सकते हो, आर्मी से हम डिफेंस पे कितना खर्च करते हैं, इसके अलावा डिफेंस सेक्टर में क्या क्या एग्जैक्टली की जाती है, आप वो नहीं पूछ सकते बिकॉज दिस इज वायलेशन ऑफ लाइक वी कैन से हमारी कंट्री की सोवरेनिटी के अगेंस्ट होगी. So, if this amendment is made, all information which can be related to persons could be legally denied. Most information could be shown as being related to a person, and hence the law would become a right to deny for public information officers who do not wish to give out information. So, जो हमारा PI है, public information officers wants to deny information, and he will be able to link it to the some person. So this proposed bill had defined the term persons very widely to include individuals, companies and the state. So most of the information except budget would be linked to one of these. So the RTI would become a right to deny information, rendering it an effective tool. So ये हमारे इस आर्टिकल में थी ये सारी चीज़ें you need to keep in mind. Now moving to the next one. Here debate over define a child age of consent or data protection bill. This is quite similar article. यहाँ पे जो data protection bill है उसको पार्लियामेंट के मॉनसून सेशन में रखा जाएगा and this could empower the central to lower the age of consent for accessing internet service without parental oversight to below 18 years of the age. So what are the important takeaways for the exam? It could also, exempt certain companies from additional obligation to protect children's privacy, and if they can process the data is a very favorable safe manners. और ये जो था जस्टिस BN कृष्णा कमेटी ने रिकमेंड किया था सेंट्रल मंथ बिफोर द सुप्रीम कोर्ट लैंडमार्क डिसीजन ऑफ अपहोल्डिंग प्राइवेसी एज अ फंडामेंटल राइट सबमिटेड इन रिपोर्ट 2018, और इस रिपोर्ट में and the report relied on the definition of a measure 18 under the Contract Act and recommendation that an individual under 18 entities to seek parental consent. So the data protection bill 2019 में था उसको चेंज किया गया मॉडिफाई किया गया and after that we can say just a second. सो यहाँ पे जो आफ्टर द सेंटर विड्रॉ ईयर वर्जन ऑफ डेटा प्रोटेक्शन बिल उसको पार्लियामेंट में इशू किया गया. सो तो यहाँ पे अगस्त 2022 में आईटी मिनिस्ट्री केम अप विद अ न्यू ड्राफ्ट कॉल्ड द डिजिटल पर्सनल डेटा प्रोटेक्शन बिल 2022 लास्ट नवंबर में. तो यहाँ पे चिल्ड्रन वर डिक्लाइन एज दोज अंडर 18 ईयर्स ऑफ एज, राइट. तो यहाँ पे जो अदर कंट्रीज़ के क्या इशूज़ हैं, अदर कंट्रीज जो हमारा यूरोपियन यूनियन है तो वहाँ पे सेंट्रल डेटा प्रोटेक्शन रेगुलेशंस हैं. ऑस्ट्रेलिया का प्राइवेसी एक्ट जो है वहाँ भी एज ऑफ कंसेंट है विच मीन्स बिलो द 18 ईयर्स ऑफ एज. ऑब्वियस वहाँ पे चिल्ड्रंस को डिनाई करते हैं इंटरनेट यूजिंग के लिए फॉर द सर्टेन एक्सटेंट तक. उसके बाद है आपका नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल टॉकिंग अबाउट लाइक द फर्स्ट GSI जियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया. जून 1958 में VK रायना टॉप इंडियन जियोलॉजिस्ट led to first geological survey of India expedition to the Siachen Glacier. This event is historical and 1958 में important year था of geologists all over the world as it was celebrated as the International Geophysical Year, right? किस साल में 1958 में, और इसी साल में आपका होता है यहाँ पे उसके 20 years के बाद ऑपरेशन मेघदूत. So while everyone is familiar with the grid reference in 9842 as the best mutually demarcated point between India and Pakistan as per the Karachi ceasefire agreement of 1949, right? उसके बाद हमारा शिमला agreement होता है and not many people are familiar with that 5Q131 assigned to the Siachen Glacier by the Geological Survey of India. हम तो हमारे पास दो point है. We will discuss about कि Siachen Glacier why it is important and what is the main role of Geological Survey of India. And इस फर्स्ट सियाचिन सर्वे जो हुआ था जून 1958 में एग्जैक्टली फ्रॉम द 65 years ago. VK रायना एक टॉप इंडियन जियोलॉजिस्ट थे who at that time assistant geologist with the GSI led the first geological survey of India of Siachen Glacier. So यहाँ पे 1958 में यहाँ पे that was a we can say Mr. रायना क्या contribution थी. So Mr. रायना have known that the peaceful environments he surveyed 1958 would become a bone of contention between India and Pakistan in the future and the site of Operation Meghdoot. So Operation Meghdoot जो था आपका वो 1984 में हुआ था. So Operation Meghdoot was an operation undertaken by the Indian Army to ensure control over the Siachen Glacier, and the operation was executed on the highest battlefield in the world and led to a conflict between India and neighboring Pakistan, leading to a bloody conflict in the region. So 1958 was an important year for the geological all over the world as it was celebrated as the International Geophysical Year. And during the period, Pakistan did entertain any idea of the religion of the region falling on its side of ceasefire. तो ये आपको इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स आपको याद रखनी है. नाउ वी डिस्कस अबाउट जियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया के बारे में. ये एक साइंटिफिक एजेंसी है. इट इज़ वन ऑफ द ओल्डेस्ट ऑफ सच ऑर्गेनाइजेशन in the world and second oldest survey in India after Survey of India founded in 1767. And just a second. Yeah. The GSI का जो headquarters है in Kolkata have 6 regional offices located at Lucknow, Jaipur, Nagpur, Hyderabad, Shillong and Kolkata. Presently, Geological Survey of India is an attached office of Ministry of Mines, not Ministry of Culture. Make sure that this comes under Geological Survey of India is an attached office of Ministry of Mines. These information need to be remembered. Now government set up new panel to review all NSO data. तो National Statistical Office पहले हमारा CSO था, उसको गवर्नमेंट ने चेंज किया है. So यहाँ पे आपको ये चीज़ समझनी है कि यहाँ पे NSO क्या होता है. So, National Statistical Office act as a nodal agency and the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementations for plan development of the statistical system in the country and lays down and maintain norms and standards in the field of statistics involving concept and definition. तो जो हमारा National Statistical Office है consists of CSO and NSSO. ये क्या compiles करता है? Index of Industrial Production every month in the form of quick estimates. और ये कंडक्ट करता है एनुअल सर्वे ऑफ इंडस्ट्री ASI एंड प्रोवाइड स्टैटिस्टिकल इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ एक्सेस एंड इवैल्यूएट द चेंजेस इन द ग्रोथ. पैनल वांट्स कुनो चीता टू अंडरगो मेडिकल रिव्यू बिकॉज इसमें आप एक टर्म अभी इट वाज एन प्रोबेबल द इशू दैट वाज एन रेडियो कॉलर्स की वजह से ऐसा हुआ. सो रेडियो कॉलर्स बेसिकली क्या होता है आपने देखो इस आर्टिकल में मेंशन की हुई है. रिकॉल विद द लेटेस्ट फ्रॉम द कॉलर्स. So radio callers is radio callers जो होते हैं आपके is a caller with an attached radio transmitter that is put on animals so that its movement in natural habitat can be remotely monitored. इसको remotely monitored करने के लिए जो होते हैं रेडियो सिग्नल्स होती हैं. ठीक है, चलो. नेशनल रिसर्च फाउंडेशन, इसके बारे में जो आर्टिकल से हम बहुत बार डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. इन शॉर्ट आपको ये समझना है कि NRF जो है आपका ये नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी की एक रिसर्च है. यूनियन कैबिनेट ने अप्रूव किया. इंट्रोडक्शन टू बी अ नेशनल रिसर्च फाउंडेशन बिल इन पार्लियामेंट. अब तक इसकी कोई भी आउटकम नहीं आई है एंड द लास्ट क्लास वी हैड ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड अबाउट दीज थिंग्स. कोरल ब्लीचिंग, इसमें आपको ये समझना है कि जो कोरल जो होता है हमारा ये एक वाटर इकोसिस्टम को बैलेंस करने के लिए होता है. एंड जो रिकॉर्ड टेम्परेचर है पूरे वर्ल्ड में ये ज़्यादा होते हैं. तो इसके ऊपर में क्या होता है, जुजनथाली होती है. जुजनथाली की वजह से विच गिव्स द कोरल्स देयर कलर्स, राइट, जुजनथाली. और देयर इज मोर टू ब्लीचिंग. हाउएवर मोस्ट कोरल्स आर होम टू अ टाइप ऑफ एल्गी कॉल्ड जुजनथाली विच गिव्स द कोरल्स देयर कलर. और ये वाटर इक्वालिटी सिस्टम को बैलेंस करने के लिए होता है, राइट. उलन बतार यहाँ पे एक्सरसाइज हो रहा है. यहाँ पर नोमैडिक एलिफेंट, इसको आपको याद है कि नोमैडिक एलिफेंट जो है ये आपका ये एक्सरसाइज होता है 17 to 31st of July 2023. And nomadic elephant is an annual training event between India and Mongolia that held alternately in both countries. और Ulaanbaatar is in capital of Mongolia. Now it's time to questions of the day. So the first one. Enforcement Directorate (ED) is a multidisciplinary organization under the Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance, statutory function of enforcement of directorate. जो ED का काम है कितने इसके पैनल्स में ये वर्क कर सकती है. So ED include the enforcement of which are the following acts: Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, Fugitive Economic Offender Act 2018. So ये कौन सा इसमें करेक्ट है? ऑब्वियस आपके तीनों आंसर करेक्ट हैं इसमें. So ED can work on the enforcement of prevention of money laundering, Foreign Exchange Management Act and Fugitive Economic Offender Act. Next one है asking about internationalizing the rupee may provide which are the following benefits to India. limited exchange rate risk, lower cost of capital due to better access to international financial market, high senior age benefit, reduced requirement of foreign exchange reserve. So obvious इसके आंसर्स होंगे आपके, तो सारे ऑप्शंस इज करेक्ट वन. थर्ड वन, which among the following is the nodal procurement agency for pulses in India? मतलब pulses को कौन procure करता है? India Pulses and Grain Association, National Pulses Corporation Limited, National Agriculture Cooperation Marketing Federation of India (NAFED) and Food Corporation of India (FCI). सी, जो आपके राइस होते हैं, जो आपके व्हीट होते हैं, वो प्रोक्योर कौन करता है? हमारा गवर्नमेंट की एजेंसी फूड कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया. बट पल्सेस के लिए हमारे पास नाफेड है. नाफेड विच मीन्स नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर कॉर्पोरेशन मार्केटिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया. सो द नाफेड इज द नोडल प्रोक्योरमेंट एजेंसी फॉर पल्सेस लाइक फूड कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया, और एफसीआई इज द राइस एंड व्हीट. राइस एंड व्हीट के लिए आपके पास one body is Food Corporation of India. Next one. The World Conference on Cultural Policies and Sustainable Development is an initiative of Amnesty International, World Economic Forum, African Union and UNESCO. So it is an initiative of UNESCO. As we can see, recognizing the economic importance of culture of UNESCO, World Conference on Cultural Policies was held to address contemporary issues in multicultural societies, and the goal was to share a vision for the future of cultural policies and reaffirm the international community commitment to leveraging cultural transformative power to sustainable development. Next one is talking about the Agricultural Market Information System (AMIS) is an inter-agency platform to enhance food market transparency and encourage international policy coordination in times of crisis. And it was set up by World Bank, OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, G20 members, and World Trade Organization. It was set up by the G20 members. So the Agriculture Market Information System (AMIS) is the inter-agency platform to enhance food market transparency and policy response for food security. इसको लॉन्च किया गया 2011 में by the G20 Minister of Agriculture, followed by following the global food prices hikes in 2007 and 8. So dear student, this is all about the session and I hope you enjoyed the session a lot. If you have any question regarding the session, please let me know in the comment section, and please share this video to a maximum number of your friends so they will get the benefited. And if you are new in the channel, please subscribe the channel as well, and do not forget to press the bell icon so you will get the notification of all our Pratham Test Prep mentors. Stay tuned, we'll meet you tomorrow. Till then, bye bye and take care.